Hey guys, do you know what Perfect by Ed Sheeran is? It's a perfect example of the way that Ed Sheeran writes song lyrics. There are 3 things we can learn from this song that tell us a little bit more about who Ed Sheeran is and how he thinks about his own music. Hey everybody, I'm Clifford Stumby, the Pop Song Professor, and when I'm bored, I analyze song lyrics. Today we're talking about Perfect by Ed Sheeran, and this song is interesting because Ed Sheeran was so successful with Thinking Out Loud, and he said in the past that he kind of thinks of Perfect as a better song than Thinking Out Loud, and he spent a lot of time wondering, will I ever be able to write a song as good as Thinking Out Loud? He feels like he's finally done that with Perfect, which is about his new girlfriend, whose name is Sherry Seaborn. Well, she must be quite an incredible person because the person described in Perfect literally is perfect, or at least seems that way. I found a girl beautiful and sweet, a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams, looking so beautiful. And then finally, as if though we didn't get the point, now I know I have met an angel in person. And that's kind of how the entire song goes. The verses give descriptive pieces of information about her, while the chorus is focused on this like one perfect moment that they share together, and in it, it encapsulates the theme of the entire song. Not only are they enjoying a perfect moment, which is possible because she is a perfect person, but she also is that perfect person. But here are the 3 things we learn about Ed from this song. Number 1, he likes to keep things simple, as we see not only from the title, but from how the title plays out throughout the rest of the song. Perfect is about one thing and one thing only. It's about this single woman who is perfect. And that theme of perfection, as quoted in the lyrics I just mentioned to you, show up throughout the entire song. And number 2, keeping with this theme of simplicity, he also keeps things very, very literal. He hardly ever uses metaphors or word pictures to describe anything. He just says what he thinks. He says, "'cause we were just kids when we fell in love," which is true. They knew each other in school. He mentions being barefoot on the grass, which literally probably happened. There are only a few times when he describes something that wouldn't be considered necessarily literal, might be more of a metaphor. He says, "Your heart is all I own." She shares my dream. Fighting against all the odds is kind of a vague metaphor and cliche. I see my future in your eyes. It's a pretty heavy metaphor, a little bit of word picture imagery stuff going on there. And then when he calls her an angel, when he says, "Now I have met an angel in person," most definitely a metaphor. But compared to a lot of pop songs, that still seems to be less than the average. Ed wants to focus on simple images and sense experiences. So he often describes things that you can touch, taste, feel, or imagine yourself being in. And we see that played out through a lot of his other songs too. And number 3, probably the most dangerous thing that many song lyrics are capable of: romanticization. Basically, romanticizing is taking a look at an aspect of life and only seeing the good because you want to and ignoring the bad. And this is a love song, so for the most part, we don't care. But sometimes when we ignore the bad, we leave out the opportunity for great good to come in and conquer that evil. So we miss out on what a piece of art or a life lived really could be. Now, I'm not saying that Ed Sheeran should have mentioned how they fight sometimes or how everything's not necessarily perfect, but you have to admit that when he writes lyrics and describes things like in Thinking Out Loud or in Perfect, he tends to make the things sound really good. And I think the best example of that is when he calls her an angel. Honestly, nobody is an angel, but she seems that way to him. And that's okay, but she doesn't always seem that way to him. So romanticizing can be purposefully ignoring negative things, but it can also be taking a photograph of a particular aspect of something we like and ignoring all other aspects of it. Now, I'm just thinking out loud here, but what do I know? Sorry, I'll try again. So I'm not criticizing Ed, but I am pointing out the fact that when he makes things sound good, he tries really hard to make them sound really good. When in reality, if you went into a relationship expecting it to be like this all of the time, 100%, 24/7, you'd probably be disappointed. Not a reason to flee commitment or to not pursue a relationship, just a reminder that nothing worth having is ever easy. Something that Ed Sheeran isn't typically the one reminding us of. But Perfect by Ed Sheeran is a really interesting song, and I especially love it because it's just so him. If you want to know Ed Sheeran, you should just listen to this song. But hey, what do I know? I'm just the man thinking out loud, and I'm not going to take it back. And if you want to post a comment arguing with me, don't, because when I get comments like that, I see fire. But I'm just kidding, guys. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please comment a song that you'd like to hear me explain in the very near future. I'm excited to talk with you more, and I will see you in the comments. I typically respond a lot, especially for the first couple of days, so feel free to let me know what you think. Can't wait to chat with you. Talk to you then.